Hello, ladies, gentlemen, gender fluid folks, and NBs, and welcome back to Unite for Action. I'm your host, Jesse Austin. We are a socialist news media and mutual aid worker cooperative. If you enjoy learning here with us, make sure you subscribe and click that bell so that you're always notified whenever we release a new segment. Nigeria is a vivid microcosm of Africa as a whole, and its transformation into a British colony occurs alongside the spread of the Abrahamic faiths throughout the land. From the year 1500 AD to the year 1800 AD, the landmass housed many diverse civilizations, some of which left behind artifacts that are now, you guessed it, kept in British, French, other European, and even United States museums, which we'll look at soon in a little bit more detail. Originally, the people in pre-colonial Nigeria practiced their own forms of African traditional religion. The religious beliefs of each culture are unique to their ethnic backgrounds and intertwined with virtually every facet of life, not unlike many Islamic cultures and Hindu cultures, which is probably why some indigenous African religions readily assimilated some customs and beliefs from Islam and Hinduism without too much resistance. Southeastern Nigeria is home to the Igbo people, who practiced direct democracy and had no concept of kings. No big deal. These are the Igbo people. And yeah, they had no concept of kings, they practiced direct democracy, and they had their own religion, which differs from, say, the religion of the Yoruba people in southwest Nigeria, or the religion practiced by the Zulu people in South Africa. But these are not necessarily dogmatic sects pitted against each other. Like all religions, there are questionable customs and certainties held by believers, but by and large, these are traditional holistic religions that focus on a person's relationship to their families, communities, and ancestors, not unlike the indigenous religions practiced by First Nations people here in North and South America. And also, like indigenous cultures and religion in America, the Igbo's relationship with Christianity compared to other religions was a bit rocky, to put it lightly. Odinani, the totality of Igbo religious practices and cultural beliefs, survived by the skin of its teeth, as Christian missionaries were statistically more likely to demonize it, wipe it out, and replace it with Christianity altogether than they were to try to revise or splice it with Christianity. The earlier spread of Islam by merchants in North Africa that started in the 8th century was much more violent and swift than what took place some 3 centuries later in Nigeria and in other sub-Saharan African cultures and or nations that willfully relinquished some of their indigenous traditional African religions. All of this history is unbelievably complex, and the history of religious evangelism is a mixed bag in a lot of ways. I briefly mentioned Islamic merchants had converted a sizable portion of the populace circa 8th century Nigeria, but they made their furthest reach in the 11th century after the advent of the camel saddle. Emperor Askia Muhammad Ture the Great made Islam the official religion of Nigeria during his reign in the late 15th century. Around that time was when Christianity was first brought to Nigeria by Augustinian and Capuchin monks overseas from Portugal. The transatlantic slave trade was also, of course, a major influence on Nigeria's colonial development. The port city of Lagos was invaded by the British Navy in 1851 and formally annexed in 1865, shortly after the United African Company, or UAC, was initially founded under the name Royal Niger Company in 1879. Then Nigeria officially became a British protectorate in 1901. The UAC is much like the East India Company, a British trade firm meant to legitimize colonialism and indirect rule, a system wherein Britain employed existing warrant chiefs in Africa to help manage or rule their various human capital indirectly. Lord Lugard, a loyal affiliate of the UAC, became Nigeria's first colonial governor-general in 1914. His wife, Lady Lugard, previously known as British journalist Flora Shaw, actually coined the term Nigeria to be a shorter term that could properly encapsulate the agglomeration of pagan and Mohammedan states to replace the previous official title, Royal Niger Company Territories. The two interesting things about this, right? One, yeah, Royal Niger Company territories is probably too on the nose for indirect rule, I would think. And two, the agglomeration of pagan and Mohammedan states is referring to the split between Islam, the Mohammedan states in the north, and African traditional religion, or pagan states, in the south. The term pagan or paganism is a pejorative term for indigenous African religion, like heretic, infidel, or calling all African religion voodoo. It's pretty clear to me their intentions of unifying the two factions there were purely for business management convenience related reasons. Lord Lugard said northern Nigeria is like a poor husband and the south is like a rich prosperous wife, who of course has been so blessed by the wonders of Frederick Lugard, George Goldie, their Royal Niger Company and its 30 trading posts, which gave Britain significant geopolitical leverage over Germany and France at the 1884-1805 Berlin Conference, by the way. He insists that, despite all that, they're a match made in heaven, they'll never play games, etc., etc. But the autonomous recognition of Islam in the northern protectorates and the introduction of Christianity in the southern region by missionaries has created many violent religious clashes all the way up until recent time in Nigeria. It also guaranteed a disproportionate spread of Western education throughout Nigeria. So yeah, Fred Lugard was pretty awful and completely wrong about this. And let's take a look at him here for a second, because this is pretty crazy. Um, look at this man and tell me that he doesn't look exactly like John Clayton from Tarzan, right? Um, yeah, that's just wild. It's a near 1-to-1 match. Um, good lord, that's hilarious. Anyway, the 4 R's the British missionaries focused on teaching were reading, writing, arithmetic, and religion. But since the Islamic protectorates in the north usually prohibited the missionaries from entering there, the north largely missed out on the other 3 R's too, though some rulers, like Askia Muhammad Touré I mentioned earlier, did push for widespread education, which I can only piece together had results that were great at the time, but did not stick as new leaders took hold for whatever reason. On the other hand, the missionaries eroded a lot of cultural customs and traditions like Odinani in the process of doing what they were doing, and the constant indoctrination of any dogmatic religious worldview will ultimately dissuade people from organizing productively with working class comrades. So while missionaries have undeniably served a purpose or two, the lingering effects of religious colonialism are not going away, but becoming an ever greater burden as time goes on. Now, modern missionaries have gotten more tactful about proselytizing, but to me, the fact that so much detail about African traditional religion can still be recovered and has survived despite the history of wars, disputes, and cultural diffusion seems to suggest that God may want these traditions to survive in some form, and maybe we should just live and let live when it comes to religion. Alright, earlier I promised we'd look at some artifacts that are in European and US museums, so let's do that now. I'll just start by Googling history of Nigeria and check out the pictures on the wiki. So switch to the screen share. History of Nigeria. Alright, so here we are at the Wikipedia for the history of Nigeria, and you'll see that artifacts show up. And literally everyone, y'all, is in some European or British or American museum. None of them are in Africa, which is just a shame. Like, here's a bronze ceremonial vessel made around the 9th century, found at Igbo Okwu. Yeah, so there's Igbo artifact. So this one. Photo taken at the British Museum. There it is. In its Africa section. Thanks. Thanks, jolly old Britain. Alright. Efik casting, bronze casting of Oduduwa, dated around 12th century in the British Museum. There you go. That one tells you it's in the British Museum right away. But boy, are these beautiful artifacts, you know? Like, it's always interesting to look at these. Like, here's okay. So Nok is a culture in, I think, northwestern Nigeria. Let's check that real quick. Um, um, no, not Nokia, not the stonk. Okay, yeah, northwestern Nigeria. So yeah, I didn't even mention that. See, so I wasn't joking when I said that, like, it's a lot of diverse cultures that a lot of us don't even know about, you know, because you have to pay so much money to see this stuff in a British museum, you know. But share this video with your friends and they can see it on Unite for Action, you know. Like, here's a figure of masculine. So what is this? It's like a, so there you go, Detroit Institute of Art. Like, what is that doing in Michigan? Like, what is wrong with us? What is going on? Knock Male Head, Terracotta, Brooklyn Museum, New York, you know, New York City. The Knock seated figure. This one is my favorite. Look how beautiful that is. Like, her body is like coming up on and it's like a chin rest. Like, it's a shame this one is broken. I wonder what the rest of it looked like. Like, if it, I think she had feet, you know? Like, you can kind of see the feet there. But yeah, very beautiful. So that's in Paris, by the way. My favorite one's in Paris. This one, yeah, when you click on it, 5th century AD, terracotta. Yeah, these are all Nok, or Nok. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but um, yeah, this, here you go. Francais. This one must be in Paris too. But yeah, so there you have it. Um, every artifact on the wiki is in some museum outside of Africa. Of course, our position at Unite for Action is that these stolen goods are now forfeit and should immediately be returned to the African nations of origin. Thank you for joining us on Unite for Action. If you liked learning with us here today, please share this video and consider donating to a co-op to help keep us moving along. Workers of the world unite. I love you all. Have a good night.
We call for revolution since day one, get it understood. And we won't stop until everywhere it's all good. And we won't stop until everywhere it's all good. We won't stop until everywhere it's all